So you want to stack the cabinets to the ceiling. Welcome to HingeWorks Showroom. We don't have, I haven't quite got this all finished off, but I felt this is an important item to address. To the ceiling or not to the ceiling, that is the question, right? Now I've only got a 9-foot ceiling here, but I've dealt with ceilings as tall as 14 feet in kitchens before. I guess I've dealt with taller ceilings than that, but we haven't even considered it because it's so far up there. I will probably show you some pictures as well as we go through this, but I just want to mention a couple of pointers about consideration for going to the ceiling. So number one, it's an expense, right? So if you have a 10-foot ceiling, 11-foot ceiling, 12-foot ceiling, taking cabinets up to the ceiling in that case, it's a really expensive way to finish it off. If you like it, if you can afford it, that's great. And I've done plenty of high-end projects where that's the case. How often are those cabinets used? Not very often at all, right? So, I mean, I'm 6'1". If I come up here and try to, I can actually access this. Now, the bottom of this is probably about 6-7 feet. Yeah, it's probably about 7 feet, okay, about 84 inches. The challenge with that is, as soon as that goes to 96, I'd have to get a step stool to get access to those cabinets. Now, of course, some people say, yeah, it's just for decorations. That's fine. So if you want to do it for decoration, make sure that you design it with that in mind, whether you want lights inside of it, whether you want it open, whether you want, just a finished top section with maybe shelving above or open paneling so that you can put plants or pots or whatever you want to do in there. Okay, so that's up to you. But also think about how it finishes off. So because it now becomes decoration or it's not a functional or primary use cabinetry, then think about a couple other factors. So number one, what you might want to consider is you may want to think about, well, what types of molding or detail on the top of the cabinets do I want? We haven't finished this off yet. We've got some adjustments to make here and to trim this off to finish off this display. But if you want attention drawn to those cabinets, you want to be careful putting details right next to it that draw too much more attention. So keep that molding very basic and simple if you want to use those cabinets as a focal area, okay, whether it's the lighting or something else. Okay. Otherwise, if you want to detract away from it, then fine. Add more detail above. Do double stacked flat crown, or a sub crown with a cove crown, or whatever it is that you want to do. That's just fine if you're not trying to draw attention to those. Okay. Sorry, I sound like I beat a dead horse there with that concept, but I just wanted to point that out. So the other aspect is, in some cases, you might actually have two stacked, or another term in the industry is transom cabinets. Okay, so meaning, like a transom door where you've got your primary functional door, and then you've got a visual door, or an aesthetic door or window above it that either allows light in or just creates detail and interest. Okay, same thing with cabinets. So transom or stacked. Sometimes you'll have a second one there if you're going to go really tall. Okay, and you might even want to consider mixing it up. Maybe you can, if you want this to be functional, maybe you join these two doors so that when you open this door and that door opens as well, there are mechanisms or hardware that you can put in those cabinets to grab and pull items down to the countertop or lower, so about 18 inches lower, so you can get access to the items above. There's a lot of ways to play with that space. But yes, stacking or transom cabinets is a big consideration when doing today's projects, because we have such tall ceilings compared to, say, 30 years ago when the average ceiling height was 8 feet. Thanks very much for watching. Subscribe on the channel, and we'd love to have you come by our showroom sometime and see if we can be of some help. Thanks.